Linda Burney is the Shadow Social Services Minister. Linda Burney, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What's your response to these numbers?
Well, I just want to say that Jessica sounds extraordinary, and what she's saying completely encapsulates what's going on for people in regional areas in Australia. The numbers of unemployed people compared to the jobs available are just shocking. I mean, it's bad enough in regional Victoria, but if you go to Tasmania or to the Northern Territory, you're talking about 59, 69%. And the rhetoric of Michael McCormack is just laughable. He's saying, come to the regions, there's plenty of jobs, you'll have no trouble. Well, what Jessica just said completely blew that out of the water, and it is very difficult at the moment. We know the unemployment queues are going to get longer.
We also hear from pockets of regional Victoria, though, that they can't get workers, that in fruit-picking regions, for instance, it's difficult to get workers, that in agricultural regions it can be difficult to get pickers, that some farmers who are seeking assistance with their farms also struggle to attract employees. So while the broader picture is dire, there are pockets of employment that are clearly not being taken up.
Well, obviously, though, there is being reliant on seasonal work. It just seems to me that the agency responsible for employment needs to be thinking more laterally about filling those positions and supporting people to go to regional areas. Is just inconceivable to me that in some parts of this country there is the view that there's plenty of work in regional areas, but there actually isn't. So it's very patchy, which is what you're pointing out. But there needs to be a much more nuanced approach by the employment services to the ways in which you fill those holes. I mean, it is just inconceivable, as I said to me, that we are looking at the situation where in regional Australia it's much harder to get a job than it is in the areas. And unfortunately, the rhetoric of the government does not bear that out.
Well, the government say that they've created 1 million jobs.
Well, they haven't. And the statistics don't lie. I mean, what I've got in front of me is not only an outlay of how many regional positions there are available across the country, but also the ages that are being affected the most. And what my information tells me, and it is good information, is that young people are suffering incredibly badly in terms of being able to get employment, particularly ages between 24 and 44.
Sure, but every government does this, don't they? Every government leaves the regions behind. Every government spends its cash on the capital cities, the glowing jewel in the crown, and that third of the country which lives in the regions is left behind. Of course, there's 30 applications for every one job, because that's the story of the way governments regard regional Australia. An afterthought.
But it shouldn't be like that. I mean, it is.
But your government, when in office, was just as responsible for that sort of approach as the government which is now in office.
Well, I can't reflect on that. I've been a member of Parliament since 2016. What I do know is that there has to be a better way of looking at young people in particular. We've spoken about universities and TAFE and apprentices, and it just seems to me that there is no job plan really from the government in terms of resurrecting regional positions across this country. I mean, you go to the Northern Territory, it's the statistics are just shocking. It's like 69% of people not being able to get a job. And that is just completely unacceptable. And there are very real and practical ways you can deal with that.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.